So I lost my equipment and stuff, but trying something new, a little offbeat today. Hoping that you guys can hear me. Um, so we'll see. Anyway, welcome to Sundays with PP. Short weekly resets to help you enjoy your youth, know yourself, and get ready for a future that's changing fast. So I want to talk to you today about coming into your right mind. Thinking about the prodigal son story, and as the prodigal son's walking home, he's rehearsed his speech, he's braced for the worst. Maybe a servant's job if he's lucky. Maybe the door will shut in his face if he's not. Now, Luke 15:20 says, "But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt compassion and ran and embraced him." So, still a long way off. His father wasn't keeping a ledger. His father was watching every day, probably scanning the horizon for a son that might not come back. So here's what gets me about this image and why it's the right one for a conversation about balance. The son wasted years, and the father wasn't, again, keeping track. He was standing with open arms, watching the road. The wasted time was real, and it wasn't the end of the story. So that's what we're talking about today. So you don't have to choose between enjoying your youth and not wasting it. The goal is never to pick one. The goal is to live so that when you look back, you recognize the time is yours spent, not squandered. Seneca wrote a short, blistering essay called On the Shortness of Life, and his central argument flips how most people think about time. He said, life isn't short. We just waste most of it and then act surprised when there's not enough left, you know? And most of the time, people regret not spending more time with family or relationships of some kind. So his line is worth sitting with and ruminating on. It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Life is long enough if you know how to use it. Now, here's where people misread Seneca, if they read him at all, and where the balance point matters. He's not saying every moment must be productive. He's not the ancient version of a hustle culture influencer telling you to monetize your mornings. What Seneca is against isn't rest or enjoyment, it's the unexamined drift, the years that evaporate, not because you were living, but because you were avoiding. You were scrolling instead of resting, numbing instead of enjoying, being busy instead of being present. Real leisure to Seneca is one of the most valuable things a person can have, but there's a difference between leisure and escape. Leisure restores you. Escape just postpones the thing you're running from, and it charges interest. So, doing the hard thing here in a youth balance week isn't grinding harder. It's the harder discipline of being honest about which of your fun is actually restoring you and which is just helping you disappear. So, another ancient guy named Mencius, who followed in the Confucian tradition, had a beautiful idea he called the four sprouts. He believed that every person is born with the seeds of virtue, compassion, shame, courtesy, and the sense of right and wrong. And that these are like sprouts that either get cultivated into something strong or they get neglected until they wither. So the word here is cultivation. A sprout doesn't become a tree through one dramatic act. It becomes a tree through consistent, patient, daily attention, water, light, protection, and time. This is exactly the right frame for balance. You are right now in the sprout stage of who you're becoming. And the question isn't whether you'll have one heroic, productive day. It's whether you're giving consistent, patient attention to the things that are actually growing into your future self. So we've talked about the black coffee theory before, and it lives here. What you give your daily attention to is what grows. If your attention goes almost entirely to what's loud and immediate, the feed, the game, the group chat drama, those are the sprouts that you're watering. The quieter sprouts, the ones that become your character, and your competence, they go dry. And it's not because you chose against them, because you never chose for them. Mencius wouldn't tell you to stop enjoying your youth. He'd tell you to make sure you're also watering the sprouts that you'll be grateful for later. So again, we come to this idea of while he was still a long way off, his father Solomon felt compassion and ran and embraced, and he kissed him. Now, here's the balance, truth embedded in this verse. It's one that most anxious young people desperately need to hear. The son wasted real time. The parable does not minimize that. He blew an inheritance. He hit bottom. Years were genuinely lost. He's older. But the father runs to him anyway. And it's not because the waste didn't matter, but because the son was worth more than his worst season. Now, a lot of you are carrying a low-grade panic about time, that you're behind. I felt like this all my life. Even today, I still feel like I'm 9 or 10 years behind. So you've probably wasted too much of your youth on the wrong things. The drifting years disqualify you from the future that you want. Well, I can tell you that they don't. Today is just as good. This verse says, while you were still a long way off, you were already seeing. The Father was already running. It's never as far back as it feels, and you are never as disqualified as the anxiety insists. And don't compare yourself with others. Balance isn't just about managing your time well going forward. It's also about releasing the guilt about the time already spent so that the guilt doesn't become the next thing that steals your present. So, 2 small things this week. One for enjoyment, one for cultivation, because balance requires both. So, first, choose one thing you'll enjoy on purpose this week, fully without guilt, without it being an escape from something, a real rest, a real pleasure, present, but not numbing. Second, choose one sprout to water, one small, consistent investment in your future self, 10 minutes of a skill, a walk without your phone, one honest page in a journal, not heroic, just watered. Enjoyment and cultivation in the same week on purpose, that's balance made concrete. And again, you don't have to choose between enjoying your youth and building your future. Father wasn't keeping a ledger of wasted time. He was watching the road with open arms. So enjoy the journey, water the sprouts, come home when you need to. It's never as far as it feels. Life is long enough. If you know the difference between spending it and squandering it, then you'll have a great life. So if you want to leave a comment, if you're able to, tell me what's the one thing you're going to enjoy on purpose this week and the one sprout you're going to water. I'll read them because nobody listens to this. So, and if you want to keep this conversation going with people who are learning the same balance, the Reset on Patreon is where we do that. So always remember, God loves you. So do I.